everybody! Welcome to Half the Battle.
What do you say we take a look at some more foreign file cards and see what the difference is when G.I. Joe becomes the real European hero?
Let's start with everybody's favorite shirtless wonder, Quick Kick.
He basically becomes a different character in more ways than one. Firstly, his Dutch name is Flits, which translates to Flash. This could have led to some confusion since there already was a Joe called Flash. But since that character was never released under the G.I. Joe brand in Europe, the issue gets sidestepped. With the name Flash, you can see they're still in the same ballpark as the name Quick Kick. Both names remind you of very fast, destructive movement.
In French, like before, things take a turn for the awesome.
His French name is Pied Blindé, which literally translates to armored foot. Though in spirit, the more accurate meaning would be steel feet, telling you he has a devastating kicking ability. It might also explain why the character is barefoot.
There's one more thing to mention here.
His real name. Remember, this storyline is G.I. Joe the International Heroes, and to reflect that, some characters got their so-called real-life name changed, as well as their birthplace. In this case, Flitz's real name is Ito Lee Ho, while Quick Kick is Ito MacArthur. As a quick aside, having part of his last name being the same as Bruce Lee avoids any pesky subtlety regarding who this character is based on. And while the American file card has him be from Los Angeles, with a Japanese father and Korean mother, Flitz is Chinese, born in Canton, China. Obviously, this leads to a contradiction in the file card, where the text mentions his parents. So, the Dutch file card has him somehow be Chinese with Japanese-Korean parents.
The Belgian file card accidentally fixes this thanks to our national laws.
You see, by Belgian law, all packaging on consumer products must be in both Dutch and French, since those are the two main languages spoken here. This can be a bit of a problem for G.I. Joe file cards, since there's a lot of text on them. They solve this in two ways. First, by making the font really small. Eye-strainingly, frustratingly small. And by often omitting an entire paragraph from the file card. In this case, the Belgian file card cut out all the info about his origin. Problem accidentally solved. So that's Quick Kick, the flashy guy with steel feet.
Our second entry today deals with my favorite figure, the Crimson Guard. And oh boy, do things get weird there.
Up until now, the French names we've seen have been pretty awesome. Sadly, that streak is about to be broken, as the French name for the Crimson Guard is Garde Pourpre, which means Purple Guard. Purple, instead of, red, the actual color of the figure.
There is an explanation for this.
Different cultures name colors in different ways, and crimson does literally translate to pourpre or purple in French. While I look at crimson as a shade of red, the French may see it as a shade of purple.
Any of my French viewers, feel free to yell at me, correct me if I got this wrong.
I can also understand why they didn't want to call it Garde Rouge or Red Guard, for the same reason the American one isn't called Red Guard. That name is associated with Russian and Chinese communists, not something they were going for with Cobra.
In Dutch, it gets weirder. And stupider.
The Dutch name is Rode Baretten, which means red berets. There's a small problem there.
They don't have any berets!
There isn't a beret tucked in anywhere on the mold, and they're certainly not wearing one on their head. Well, they might be, who knows, under that helmet, but let's assume not. So, the name makes no sense whatsoever. Even worse, in Belgium, it's even a little insulting, since our paracommando special forces wear red berets, and I doubt they'd like to be compared to terrorists.
What? Belgium has special forces? Good ones too! Stop laughing!
In all seriousness, under the current threat of global terrorism, they're the ones protecting our streets and public transport hubs at the moment.
Respect.
The only other Crimson Guard toy we got was the Crimson Guard Immortal, simply called Immortal in French, avoiding the color controversy. while in Dutch he was called bodyguard, even though that was just one of the character's functions, being a bodyguard for Cobra Commander. Apparently in Dutch, that's his whole shtick. Also, we do have a Dutch term for that word, lijfwacht, but they elected to just use the English term. Weird. And that was the European Elite Cobra Trooper, a purple Crimson Guard who was possibly an undercover Belgian Special Forces guy.
There's plenty of foreign Filecard fun left, but we'll save that for another day. See you next time, everybody! And hey, why not like, share and subscribe if that's your thing?